Tonight on the Northwestern News Report.
Major changes to resources available for women on campus.
The race to the White House is heating up.
And bike sharing makes its way to Evanston.
All those stories and more.
Coming up on the Northwestern News Report. It's your news right now. Good evening and welcome to the Northwestern News Report. I'm Isa Gutierrez.
And I'm Jesse Kirsch. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with word from Northwestern's provost that long-term counseling services will no longer be offered at the Northwestern Women's Center. NNN's Matt Zedun joins us in the studio. And Matt, this is something that is not taken lightly on campus.
That's right, Jesse. The provost's announcement has drawn criticism from some students who cite the lack of mental health resources on campus as a growing concern. I spoke to members of the Northwestern community to learn more. Sophomore Liz Diamond says the counseling she received at Northwestern's Women's Center changed her life.
They were nothing but kind, compassionate, welcoming, incredibly warm.
But as the provost's office announced last week, long-term counseling through the Women's Center will no longer be offered to students. Instead, students will be directed to Northwestern's Counseling and Psychological Services, or CAPS, for their counseling needs. Northwestern Chief Diversity Officer Jabbar Bennett said in a written statement, the retirement of the previous Women's Center director left a single staff counselor in the center. This transition enables the counselor to be a part of a team at CAPS. In addition, the counselor's integration into CAPS will provide access to a wide array of mental health services and other support to the students with whom she works. But Diamond says she's still disappointed because the counseling at CAPS is not the same as the counseling at the Women's Center.
The contrast was really like night and day. I had an intake appointment at CAPS. It seemed kind of cold. I didn't really feel like I was being listened to. I felt like they were kind of going down a sheet.
Other students like junior Allison Tobes feel the university does not care about mental health as much as it says it does.
I think it's incredibly hypocritical that the university is taking away the long-term treatment program through the Women's Center at a time when they're talking so much in the media about how inclusive our campus is and about how we promote trigger warnings and content warnings, and we can put those labels on, but like we're not walking the walk, we're just talking the talk.
The provost's office says all changes to the Women's Center and to CAPS will be implemented fully by winter quarter. Matt Zedun, Northwestern News Report.
Hey guys, it's Bria. I'm here at The Rock today asking different students about their opinion on the Women's Center discontinuing their therapy services and combining them with CAPS. Some people have different opinions about it, some good, some bad, so I talked to different students on their way to and from class to see their thoughts about the subject. Check it out.
As a queer person, as a person of color, I've definitely had issues working with therapists and psychiatrists who aren't very well versed in how to deal with those identities. So I think the Women's Center, in their help with counseling services for women and queer and trans folks, I think it's bad to kind of remove that from the equation.
It's really hard to get an appointment with CAPS and Care and to know exactly what they will help you with when you're there. So the Women's Center is a really, really important resource on campus. And it's not fair to the women who are already going to the Women's Center to have discontinued service with such little notification.
Some people have had less than stellar experiences at CAPS, and it seems like people have had really good experiences getting counseling at the Women's Center. And so I think that ensuring that there's a mechanism so that everybody can feel comfortable as people transition their therapy sessions into the CAPS system is a really worthwhile investment.
If you have an idea for a future Rock Talk topic, tweet at us at NNN_news.
More tough news for the Northwestern community. A first-year student died 2 weeks ago after colliding with a cement truck on Sheridan Road. Police say Chu Yuen Chu was riding her bicycle at the time. One witness said he saw first responders performing CPR briefly, though Chu was quickly rushed to a nearby hospital where she was pronounced dead. On Friday, members of the Northwestern community gathered in Alice Millard Chapel to remember the Weinberg student. Relatives recalled how Chu, originally from Nanjing, China, could not wait to attend Northwestern. Speakers also included Chu's peer advisor and faculty advisor, who shared memories from her first week of class at Northwestern. Passers-by continued to place flowers and candles at a makeshift memorial on Sheridan Road, close to where the accident took place. Sophomore Daniel Wu attended the memorial service and said he was blown away by the NU community's support.
I think people are mostly shocked, especially because it was a freshman and she had just finished her third day of classes. Since there's so many of us Northwestern students who bike down Sheridan, I think all of us are a little bit more careful and certainly, trying to be more safe.
In response to the accident, members of the Northwestern community are hoping to improve safety for cyclists on campus with the addition of bicycle lanes and a lower speed limit on Sheridan Road.
Reflecting on another loss in the Northwestern community, friends and family gathered to celebrate a student who took his own life early last month. Scott Borstein was an incoming Weinberg senior and active member of his fraternity Alpha Epsilon Pi. His closest friends organized the event on a Friday night at the Norris Center, with more than 300 people in attendance. Many loved ones lined up for the open mic, remembering Borstein as authentic, hilarious, and kind. They expressed their feelings of loss through a video montage and a poem. But rather than mourning Borstein for long, family members strived to create a celebratory environment. Friends shared their favorite memories as the attendees both laughed and shed tears. Many of Borstein's friends said they will carry out his legacy by emulating his selflessness and compassion.
A recent game day change means a lot of fans' bags won't make it to Ryan Field, as only certain sized bags and clear bags are allowed in the stadium now. Some have not noticed much change with the added security at Ryan Field, while others are frustrated by the restrictions. NNN's Nikki Kaplan has more.
Before the 2016 football season, Northwestern Athletics announced the only bags allowed in the stadium would be clear bags and clutch bags slightly over 4 by 6 inches. According to the policy, larger bags must be clear, with exceptions for medically necessary items. Paul Kennedy, Assistant Athletic Director for Communications, says the change has already improved game day safety.
Our incidents of reports of contraband in the stadium, in the stands from security, are way down after 4 games versus what it was last year.
Kennedy also says the policy is beneficial to fans' experience in the stands.
You're sitting fairly close to the people beside you, in front of you, and behind you. So limiting the number of items that people bring into the stadium has made it a much more comfortable venue.
Despite Kennedy's optimism, the policy has created challenges. Amanda Rosner, Northwestern sophomore, faced a delay entering the stadium. Rosner was initially told she could not bring the solid-colored bag containing her EpiPen, which she needs for her bee allergy. Rosner says that clarifying the policy for medical bag exceptions would be helpful.
Different people will qualify different items as medical. I qualify my EpiPen as medical, and the idea is there, what is defined as a medical bag?
Though the clear bag policy has changed the game day experience for some, students like Northwestern junior Julian Kanahy say they haven't noticed any difference.
As a guy, it doesn't impact me as much as it would like my female friends who actually need to carry bags into places.
Kennedy says that despite challenges, the new policy aims to benefit everyone in the long run.
This is to improve the safety and security of everybody in Ryan Field, whether that be the student athletes, the coaches, the fans, the staff. We're all sort of in this together.
Nikki Kaplan, Northwestern News Report.
All right, thank you, Nikki. The policy will be in effect on October 22nd when the Wildcats face off with the Indiana Hoosiers for homecoming.
A new building will soon be home to student activities. This summer, university officials unveiled plans to replace Norris University Center with a new complex called University Commons. NNN's Andy Weir has the details.
After surveying more than 4,000 students and almost 2,500 faculty, officials decided it was time to revamp Norris. A new student center has been a priority for Vice President for Student Affairs Patricia Tejas Irvin since she started at Northwestern 5 years ago. Teus Irvin said in a statement to NNN, "We're evaluating all of Norris's current offerings. We want a mix that works best for our students. We see this as a destination for our students, a place where they can come together. It will be a wonderful addition that will light up that whole area." The new University Commons will include more meeting and lounge spaces, increased accessibility, a black box theater, and new offices for Northwestern career advancement. Students like Medill sophomore Alina Moda Melville hope the new space will still feel like home.
When I first got to Northwestern, I thought Norris was kind of like janky, I guess is the best way to put it. It's kind of in a weird location. I didn't really go my fall quarter of my freshman year, and now I am here pretty much every day. It's just like a really nice meeting spot. It just has a lot of like comfy chairs. You can always find someone you know. So like I don't want the essence of Norris to go away.
NU is still deciding where to temporarily relocate Norris to, with options including the soon-to-be-vacant Allen Center, currently home to the Kellogg School of Management. Weinberg senior Jacob Jones, an employee at the Norris bookstore, wonders how the transition will affect business.
The bookstore in Kellogg right now is really small. It's not built to handle a ton of undergrads. Like there's a business like bookstore there, but it's not much.
University officials hope to break ground as early as fall 2018, with an opening in 2020. Andy Weir, Northwestern News Report.
Students interested in checking out the plans for the proposed University Commons can see a model right now on the ground floor of Norris. In a new segment, we talked to an Evanston mayoral candidate about the upcoming race. Plus,
I'm Kara Stevick, and coming up, I'll have your 5-day weather forecast.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
Good evening, and here's your 5-day weather forecast on this cloudy Tuesday. While we'll continue to see some clouds tomorrow morning, the sun will be out in the afternoon with a high of 77 degrees and a low of 65. But don't expect clear skies for long, as there will be scattered thunderstorms all day Thursday with a high of 78 and a low of 66 degrees. And it looks like fall weather is officially here to stay, as skies will continue to be cloudy on Friday with a high of 70 degrees and a low of 52. Finally, you might want to consider breaking out your sweaters this weekend, as temperatures will continue to drop with a high of 60 and a low of 48 on Saturday and a high of 60 and a low of 49 degrees on Sunday. This has been Kara Stevick with your 5-day weather forecast.
earlier this year, Evanston Mayor Elizabeth Tisdall said she wouldn't seek re-election. So far, 3 men have begun to fight for her seat. Eric Miller brings us the first in a series of profiles of the candidates.
Steve Haggerty spends most days at a downtown Evanston office stacked high with papers, books, and the portrait of a grandfather he never met. The middle-aged consultant currently helps cities deal with disasters, but now he wants to help his own city by running for mayor.
I always wanted to work for government. I applied for plenty of government jobs when I graduated from Maxwell, and even though I thought I was more than qualified for all of those jobs, the government thought otherwise.
So when the government wouldn't take Haggerty, he went to the private sector. Starting out at consulting group Price Waterhouse, he eventually struck out on his own in 2001. Haggerty has now spent more than a decade leading the disaster relief consulting firm that bears his name. He's helped federal, state, and local governments handle everything from Hurricane Katrina to 9/11.
9/11 happened. Soon after that, I went to New York. and helped with the recovery. I was the federal government's liaison to the fire department of New York, the police department of New York, and many other city agencies.
This year, Haggerty served on the Evanston City Council Advisory Committee on the future of the historic Harley Clark Mansion. Haggerty advocated for private investors to step in and take on the burden, a view he plans to take to the mayor's office.
And the question is whether private investment can also have a public benefit. I believe that it can.
Now Haggerty wants to move from the sidelines to the center of the action. In office, he says he wants to bring his years of experience home.
But I'd really like to help the government that in the city that I live in. And I think my work experience and my life experience and my education has prepared me well to help lead Evanston in a variety of ways.
Eric Miller, Northwestern News Report.
Haggerty plans to officially kick off his campaign with an event October 18th, which we will be bringing to you live.
Nationwide election season certainly has people fired up, and Northwestern's campus is no exception. Here's Ben Trachtenberg.
Last Monday, close to 100 Northwestern students watched the first presidential debate at the Norris University Center. The political science department hosted the event, and professors Jeffrey Winters and Karen Alter held a discussion after the screening.
Many of the people on both sides is that they're looking at this election as a contest between oh my God and okay. Is how the choice is coming down for a lot of people. That doesn't mean that
students focused on the debate, and while the majority of the audience appeared to be in the Clinton camp, there were some dissenters. Medill freshman Remainda Cyrus was there, and she didn't expect the debate to change many minds.
And so I think that people who were supporting Hillary are actually going to support her even stronger now, and maybe going to make more of an effort to get the vote behind her. And I think people who support Donald are going to remain supporting him.
Clinton and Trump went back and forth on everything from national security to fitness for office. One of the most hotly debated topics was Donald Trump's unprecedented move to withhold his tax returns, something his opponent says is a cover-up.
And they showed he didn't pay any federal income tax. So if he's paid zero, that means zero for troops, zero for vets, zero for schools or health.
Ben Trachtenberg, Northwestern News Report.
And Ben, the questions surrounding Mr. Trump's tax returns did not end on that debate stage.
That's right, Jesse. On Saturday, the New York Times released 3 pages of Trump's 1995 tax returns showing massive losses totaling close to $1 billion. And for every dollar he lost, Trump could deduct $1 from his taxable income. That means he could have made millions of dollars each year for close to 2 decades without paying a single cent of income taxes. We'll have more about this Thursday on our political program, Politicat.
All right, we'll be watching. Thanks, Ben.
Dorms aren't just for students. We'll tell you about a faculty residence program after the break.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all the go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Next tonight, Northwestern graduate students are exploring the possibility of unionizing following the National Labor Relations Board's ruling last month that teaching and research assistants at private universities are employees covered by federal labor laws. Before a vote on unionization can happen, 30% of NU's bargaining group must express interest in forming a union before filing for an election with the NLRB. Then another vote would occur, and a 50% plus 1 vote of the graduate students must be in favor of unionization for an organization to form. Northwestern has increased grad student teacher assistant stipends over the last 2 years, but the university also condemns the formation of such a union. The dean of the graduate school says, quote, "The implications of unionization could create an environment that inhibits both the success of our graduate students and of our university more broadly." Some grad students like Jackson Bartlett disagree with the university, saying that students simply want to be properly recognized for the work they do.
We want to take part in this explosive growth of wealth on this campus. We feel that we should be paid fairly, we should be given adequate health insurance, we should be able to take care of ourselves and our families if this university is doing so well. So we want a collective voice in that, rather than simply hearing from the administration every few years that they did a market study and they're going to raise our stipends.
The recent decision reverses a 2004 ruling that determined grad students were not employees since they were students first.
Starting this fall, Northwestern has doubled the number of faculty in residence. NNN's Isabella Zhao has more.
With the addition of 2 new apartments in Shepherd Hall and Goodrich House, there are now 4 faculty members living in student residential buildings. The program first started 6 years ago with faculty in Elder and Allison Hall. Director of Residential Academic Initiatives, Bradley Zacharin, says the program allows faculty members to invite students to their apartments and enhance the residential experience.
We think it actually matters outside of the classroom for students and faculty to spend time together outside of the confines of a syllabus that might define their course engagement.
The first faculty in residence at Elder, Jacob Smith, says living with students gives him insight into what programs they'd like to see.
We're eating in the same dining halls. We're having the same study breaks on Sunday nights. We're eating pizza and talking with faculty. So we really get to hear what they want.
Melissa Foster, a new faculty in residence at Shepherd Hall, says the program also intends to grow residential neighborhoods that include multiple residential buildings in the same area.
It's the first neighborhood, the first official one that's a full, complete area with Allison and 1838 and Shepherd. So we also want to launch this community feeling that's larger than just in this particular residence hall.
The presence of the faculty creates a family within the building, according to communications freshman Allison Martin, who lives in Shepherd Hall.
Personally, this is the 3rd night that I've spent in Melissa's apartment this week, and it's really great. I can't think of a better way to spend my time.
Isabella Zhao, Northwestern News Report.
Still to come on a Tuesday night, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Justin Jackson, the ball carrier. We'll be right back with sports.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all the go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Welcome back, everyone. Now, it may just be our first show of the school year, but the football team has been in action for weeks now. Sports Night's Alex Letterman is here to tell us what they've been up to. Alex?
Thanks, Issa. And following a 10-3 season and a trip to the Outback Bowl, Northwestern entered 2016 with high hopes. But those aspirations were quickly dashed with early losses to out-of-conference foes. Entering their first road game with a 1-3 record, the Wildcats would need a big upset over Iowa to keep this year's hopes alive. And they'd have to overcome not only the Hawkeyes, but Hawkeye fans, notoriously some of the toughest in the nation. But right from the start, Northwestern forces a 3-and-out, and then Flynn Nagel, just minutes from the start of the game, the kick return for 47 yards takes it all the way to the 5. He sets up this Clayton Thorson run into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game. Using those legs we've seen so often, Cats up 7-0 less than 3 minutes in. But Desmond King, you think you're special, Flynn Nagel? You think you're special? I can do that. He has a kick return of his own for 32 yards all the way to the 5, sets up an Iowa touchdown. But the Cats coming right back. Remember this name, Austin Carr, Clayton Thorson finds him in the end zone to give the Cats a 10-point lead, 17-7, but the Hawkeyes would go on to dominate the rest of the first half. Jay Shield here at the sideline snags it down, and then we're not used to saying this, but Justin Jackson, a surprise, actually fumbles the ball in an uncharacteristic move that allows Iowa this gem from C.J. Beathard to Riley McCarron. 15 yards, Hawkeyes lead 21-17 at the half. Second half, though, all Cats all the time. Austin Carr, I said, remember him before because he's in the corner, his foot is down, and he almost knocks down our videographer, but she's okay. Plus a huge bounce-back game for Justin Jackson, 57 yards, 171 total. And Iowa fans get rowdy, throw some bottles on the field, but thanks to Fadio Denebo with a sack here, his 4th of the game. And one last time, Clayton Thorson finds Austin Carr, who trots into the end zone. The Cats upset the Hawkeyes. And the Cats' big win couldn't have come at a better time with bye weeks coming up, but the road ahead doesn't get any easier after that with another tough road matchup at Michigan State. And we are turning now to 2 more teams who have dominated all season long, field hockey and women's soccer. They both continue to look impressive in conference play. The number 6 field hockey team racked up 2 more W's against Rutgers and Drexel, both on the road. They outscored the two by a combined score of 12-5. Isabel Flens recorded a hat trick in the first 9 minutes against Drexel, and Dominique Masters scored 2 on her birthday against Rutgers. Happy birthday, Dominique. Meanwhile, the 24th ranked women's soccer team finished with a scoreless at the Ohio State, thanks to a career-best 9 saves from the goalie Lauren Clem, who earned Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week. And Jesse, if you want to hear more from us, you can tune into Sports Night on Tuesday at 7.
All right, well, we'll be watching this Thursday night. Thanks so much, Alex. And still to come, Evanston has a new way to get around town.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all the go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
Another change that rolled into Evanston this summer, Chicago bike share company Divvy Bike added 10 new stations in town and around campus. Northwestern students have discounted access to the 100 new bikes available in the Evanston area, and 3 of those new bike stations can be found on campus. 1 at Norris, 1 at Tech, and a 3rd at the corner of Chicago and Sheridan. For some students, the new bikes provide a fun way to get around.
Where I live in Hyde Park, they'd already installed Divvy, so I used it every day to get to and from the hospital. Now that they've put it in here, my commute has literally been cut in half.
Students renting bikes in Evanston can return them at one of Divvy's other 580 stations in the Chicagoland area. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. I'm Isa Gutierrez.
I'm Alex Letterman for Sports.
And I'm Jesse Kirsch. For those of you celebrating the Jewish New Year, may it be a happy and a healthy one from all of us here at the Northwestern News Network. Good night.